Welcome to New York City. From NBC News, artist instantly paralyzed after being shoved into moving subway train, New York prosecutor says. A story from today. I'd like to remind you all of Daniel Penny. Hopefully he's doing well and he's going to beat these ridiculous charges. But this is New York City. A woman, a 35-year-old artist, was shoved into a moving train, causing serious injuries, instantly paralyzing her from the neck down, putting her in critical condition, and she may die. Because it was a crazy man, for no reason, who attacked her. But I'm sure Ocasio-Cortez will be very happy to learn that no one intervened to save this woman before the attack occurred, and that the man who's in jail, I'm sure she will help in every way to get him released because he is just a poor, suffering man. You really want to live in this place? Man. This one really grinds my gears. A Turkish-born artist who moved to New York 6 years ago was instantly paralyzed from the neck down after a man allegedly shoved her into a moving subway train in what a prosecutor described Wednesday as a completely unprovoked attack. Kamal Semrate, 39, was charged with second-degree attempted murder and other crimes in the alleged assault at a subway station in Manhattan's Upper East Side on Sunday, according to a criminal complaint filed in New York Criminal Court and obtained by NBC New York. The 35-year-old victim had a cervical spine fracture, a scalp laceration, and other injuries after Semrate grabbed her head with both hands and shoved her with all his force into the moving subway car. In a verified online fundraiser organized partly by her husband, the victim was identified as Emin Yilmaz Azsoy. She was instantly paralyzed and remains in critical condition with a high risk of death or stroke. The attack at the Lexington Avenue and East 63rd Street station occurred at 6:05 a.m. and was captured on security camera and seen by witnesses. Imagine what that must be like. If not but for that single moment, your life would continue. This woman, she could have got on a different train. She could have decided to wake up early. She could have decided to sleep in. And if she did, she would not be paralyzed. It's a crazy thing to think, right? That one moment. But really, as much as we try and pass this off to the fates, the reality is that New York is facing a serious crime problem, especially on its subways. And there's a man right now, Daniel Penny, who took action along with two others to subdue a violent man. What if this man, Semrate, was subdued? This young woman, 35, this woman would not be paralyzed. She's lucky to be alive, but for a lot of people, I don't know if they would choose full paralysis. They say, Azsoy, the former head page designer at an Istanbul newspaper, moved to New York in 2017 to focus on her art. Her husband said in a written statement. She and Semrate were on the same train and got off in Manhattan. Semrate followed and then shoved her into the train as it rapidly left the station. I just see him walk up beside her to her left side with his palms open, just shove her head into the train as it moved. Her body tumbled in a circle as she dropped to the platform. Semrate fled the station. As Azsoy lay on the platform, she said she couldn't feel her arm and asked if she was going to die. Marrero said, according to NBC New York. I was like, you're not going to die. Don't worry, I'm here. Marrero told the station, I'm going to stay with you. Court records show the New York Police Department took Semrate into custody Tuesday. In the statement, Azsoy's husband, Ferdi Azsoy, thanked authorities and those who comforted his wife after the alleged assault. He said she had undergone a difficult surgery and he expected a long recovery journey that will likely hinder the career she had established as an award-winning artist, painter, and illustrator. Ferdi Azsoy described himself as his wife's only family in the U.S. and said he was seeking emergency visas for relatives to help with her care. Her life after this is going to need constant care. Rebecca Heinsohn, a lawyer with the Legal Aid Society who was representing Semrate, said her client has never been in trouble with the legal system prior to the tragedy. At this current time, we ask the public to refrain from drawing hasty conclusions based on sensationalized reporting in the press. Semrate, who was remanded into custody during Wednesday's hearing, is due to be back in court on Friday. Is this how we are supposed to live? It's absolutely incredible. Ask AOC. Ask Ocasio-Cortez, who said that the crazed man who was threatening the lives of multiple people, ask her about this story. Should this man have been stopped? Should someone have used physical force to subdue him? And Daniel Penny and others put Neely in the recovery position. They tried to save his life after the fact. And people have to live this way. It's a horrifying story. Here's another one, a better one from the post-millennial. Good Samaritans rush to aid California police officer being beaten on the side of the highway. I see the officer down. I was concerned about the guy grabbing the officer's gun and shooting the officer. A video released on Tuesday showed the moment that 3 Good Samaritans saved a California Highway Patrol officer who was being beaten on the side of the freeway last Friday. The cell phone showed the officer confronting 33-year-old Jamie Peniagua, who was yelling at a passing motorist and trying to remove a freeway sign. As the officer went back to his motorcycle, the man attacked him. At this point, Everardo Navarro rushed in and started swinging at the Peniagua. After Navarro called for help, 2 other bystanders jumped in to help subdue the suspect. I see the officer down. I was concerned about the guy grabbing the officer's gun and shooting the officer. I punched the guy from the back, but I feel I didn't do anything, like he was super strong, like he didn't even feel it. I will do that for anybody, anytime. CHP officer Anselmo Templado praised the actions of the 3 men. Quote, I just want to thank those 3 Good Samaritans for helping out our officer. It's not very often you see something like that. Usually it's just people recording and standing by. But I just wanted to thank those 3 Good Samaritans for helping out our officer. It could have ended very badly, but luckily for them, no one was seriously injured, and we got the suspect under control. How much do you want to bet? If the violent criminal lost his life in this, that the left would be demanding the Good Samaritans be criminally charged. And of course, they'll agree. They'll be like, well, yeah, but he didn't kill anybody. So what it was like in the Soviet Union, only if you were actually having your life taken from you could you defend yourself. It's amazing, isn't it? That Daniel Penny does the right thing. And this is why people don't intervene anymore. I think these men were lucky. Lucky. Nobody intervenes. I remember I can't remember who said it. It might have been McCain or somebody. They said, maybe it wasn't McCain. I don't think so. That, who said this? Cheney? I don't know. That sometimes they want terror attacks to happen to remind the people why we need the security that we have. It is kind of funny to think about. You up security, people get angry about security inconveniencing them. The security does stop violent offenders and threats. So you say, fine, we get rid of security. Then a terror attack happens and they say, why was there no security? If the security stops the crime, then people don't know the crime is being stopped and they don't know what they're trying to stop. You see the point? It's a paradox. No, we don't want attacks to happen. We don't want people to lose their lives. But because things were relatively safe, crime was going way down. Because people aren't feeling crime, they say, why are we doing these things to these people? So then they defund the police. They arrest the innocent. They blame the victims. Then things start getting bad again. It's a cycle of life, I imagine, because people can only know what they experience, and they don't experience it, they can't know. And this is where we are right now. This woman was pushed into a moving train and paralyzed, and it should not have happened. But AOC, she wants to make sure that violent criminals are protected. I think she's evil. I wonder if on that train, someone noticed this Semrate acting erratically and dangerously and said, I am not getting involved. Not after what happened with Daniel Penny. And so they just said, we'll just be on our way. And then he grabbed this woman and smashes her into a train, paralyzing her. She's lucky to be alive and she may still die. They say she's at risk for blood clots and stroke. And man, her life was taken from her. She may be alive, but her career is over or ruined seriously. And now there's just more of the same. We're supposed to sit back and just accept all of this. We're supposed to sit back and accept rising crime and violence and never defend ourselves. This is why self-defense is so important. It's why we must have a Second Amendment right to defend ourselves. And it's why we must push back on evil people like AOC. I'll leave it there. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Check out the Culture War podcast over at youtube.com/Timcast. Should be up by now, and I'll see you all then.